we're all good now. This live stream is the best. Thank you, user. I haven't done a thing. I haven't done a couple things. Mainly because I realized I haven't had to eat since lunchtime, so that happens a lot. Nothing new there. Everyone's gonna black out for a second. Don't worry. Hold your breath. There. I just works. Does. We're good. Music. Maestro. This is. The song stuck in my head. It's not a thing. Not a good thing. It's Wellness Wednesday, by the way. Which means we all check in with ourselves, make sure we're still doing, you know, we're hanging in there. The nicest way to put it. Oh, we're gonna be dumb. Hey. Thinking if I should try to sing that. Got it. I have something new set up here. I don't know if it's working. I can try to turn it off to see if I notice anything, but I don't know if you'll notice anything. We will. Don't know how loud it is. Me. Oop. Hard for me to. Well, you should be. But there we go. Background music activated. Angia activated. Live stream activated. Great. There's one thing we haven't done yet, though. The intro. Hi. Greetings, my name is Brian. Welcome to KillCo. Untold Musings. What's up? It's Wednesday. It's been a week. But technically, well, officially a week since my little adventure to Maine began. I've been thinking about it. Of course I am. I have my smoothie. Very important. Well, I didn't have half the things I wanted to do done yet. There we are. Delightful. Let's see, where to start? I guess 1 week ago I was very likely 7 o'clock. I certainly wasn't at the site I wanted to be at yet. I'm not really sure when I got there. Driving is blurry. There's one thing about the human mind is I know I drove there. I know I drove a lot on the trip. But that's like the not necessary part. So I don't remember doing it very well. I remember some of the traffic. People being more. Than that. What I did do was I stopped at a rest stop and slept there overnight in my car, which went fine. As expected. As hoped for. Expected? But that did give me some confidence in the concept of further trips, longer distances, locations I can stay, that kind of stuff. I want to be off grid to a degree. That is what will need to occur as this goes further, as this traveling stuff and the car stuff continues. Because that's what the end goal will be. So when and or if, and there are complications possible, I get to the other side of the country and go into Oregon, I will be there for about a week at least. It'll be very off-grid. Still be able to do stuff, still be able to get places and get food and showers and such, but I will be in the wilds. There won't be much of a connection. That's another thing. I don't know when I'll be able to post stuff as I go about my day, but I will be doing shorts and such. And I feel like I should do more shorts here. Like, shorts have been good for me. They're easy for me to do. They're quick. They're like a minute or 2 or 3 at most. And it usually gets the point across. Like, doing them on my road adventure really helped me to capture what was happening. Doing one little vertical live stream helped somewhat. But other than that, it's a matter of finding what to do. When I'm on an adventure, certainly things are happening. And it's grand. But when, oops, the wrong thing. When I'm just at home, like, things are more contemplative, like tonight. There were contemplative thoughts happening. I've been trying to disconnect myself from my screen more often, which is very hard to do. And I don't like saying that to people who are trying to watch the stream. It's like, disconnect yourself from screens. I'm not helping myself. But I'm also the person who has the issue with being at my desk all the time. All day. It's as if I had a desk job, like a real desk job. Except I'm not doing work. I'm usually watching YouTube videos and getting distracted, which I found disturbing. That is my big concern. I found myself scrolling on every option because suddenly everything can be scrolled. Instagram is scrollable. Blue Sky, which is still the new thing, it's scrollable for me. My replacement for a different platform that we don't even need to talk about. And YouTube is scrolly. You get to the shorts, you just keep going. At least I do. I get sucked into it. I'm like, oh God, I've been looking at, I've been just scrolling through these things for 5 minutes and I didn't even realize it. More than 5 minutes. And the amount of time I view stuff on YouTube, which I do enjoy. It's enjoyable. But it's also reaction videos, which is always a weird feeling for me. I feel like I could do reaction videos, except there's a lot more editing than people realize in that regard. They watch the thing, they edit the whole thing, and they have to be very careful about the edit, because copyright. If I were watching a movie, or if I were watching, I'd be watching a movie, any kind of movie. There'd be sketchiness with any upload I did. And there are plenty of things I want to watch. I watched something recently, didn't I? Didn't I? No, I did. What was it? Clearly it left a strong impression on me. It must have been an anime. What was it? It was something I realized there was more to it, so it must have been a spin-off of a series of things. Oh yeah, I watched that one a little while ago. That was, what was it called? Anyway, there's some anime series that have multiple movies. I watched the second one. Oh! Let's see if I can get the whole title. Scoundrel? That seems like the wrong word. Scoundrel does not dream of bunny girl. Ooh! Anyway, the series is funny. It's very, like, bends your mind around trying to understand time, and I don't even know how to describe it as a series of things. It is a sort of mystical, unexplained phenomenon type of thing where there are these things that happen to teenagers that are so obscure and weird and hard to imagine. And there's these group of people who are like, okay, we understand that this happens. It's happened to us. We have to figure out what happens when they happen to other people. And that's kind of the premise. Scoundrel does not dream of Grony Girl, senpai. Scoundrel. And my point is there are 3 movies, and I've only watched 2. Does not. I'm wondering about the 3rd one now. There are also games. I have to play games. I thought about doing a gaming stream tonight, but I didn't really feel like it. Because I've done a lot of those. Not Scoundrel. Rascal does not dream of bunny girl senpai. That's the series. Give it a watch if you want. As I'm talking about mental health and how I get sucked into screams and watch so much stuff. Fine. think. There was something. I've been watching reactions on Your Name. Beautiful anime, beautiful movie. But it's sad. Even though I know what happens at the end, it's still a very upsetting movie. Emotionally, because it's a love story. And I've been mulling over another one that always keeps like an impact on me, which I keep trying to get people to watch, which is called... Ooh, damn it, what is me with name? Hold on. It is called... It is called... That! Music's doing good. I want to say The Sound of Silence. That is not the right thing. It is about a boy who's living with depression, similar to mine. Like, that's the reason I want people to watch it, is because depression is... It has a very good visual representation of what depression is like and what it can do to a person and how it can cause them to behave. They kind of fall apart inside. That's how I know anything about that. And Wellness Wednesday. I'm gonna stay sane. I'm gonna stay sane. Not your voice, is it? No, I'm thinking of Your Name. I have to look it up. There. Problem is, there's been a lot more. A Silent Voice. There we go. I was close. I think. Silent Voice, amazing movie. I want everyone to watch it. You will get your heart broken. It touches very heavily on mental issues. Oh, like Steam games. Whoa. I'm not being distracted by my phone as I talk about mental health and not getting distracted by things. No, sir. I would never. This song is, God, I can't remember the song. I'm getting stuck in my head. By the Bear Claws, I know that. It's called Different. Oh, the smoothie tastes weird today. I changed my protein powder recently. Oh, back to what I was using before, which is funny. This shouldn't taste that different, but it does. And I use 2 scoops. Need all the protein I can get every day. Ooh, buddy. Uh-oh. Oh. Ooh, I'm getting stuff from YouTube telling me what to do to make the channel better. Ooh. Fine. I'll figure it out one way or another. What medication I should take. For sleep. It is for sleep. I've showed these before. Called Zen Cannabis. Used to help sleep. High in CBD and not THC. Comfortable in my room. We also have to announce. I've announced it on Sunday, but tomorrow there's going to be a whiskey event in my area at the zoo, Roger Williams Park Zoo. Look it up. The Whiskey Mentors event. So Irene will be there, Cliff will be there, I'll be there. Maybe Steve will be there. Not sure. Work my computer now. Oh, part of the wellness I wanted to talk about. I have been thinking about something I saw, and I've seen it before. It was a TikTok or YouTube short or something. Again, I'm talking about, like, don't get distracted on screens by other things. Oh, I'm getting influenced by them. But it was what I was thinking about earlier. What was it? Emotional dependence, I think is the word I'm looking for. Emotional dependence and how you can't let someone else be, not even dictate, what's the word here? Don't let your emotional state be controlled by someone else. Like, don't allow your emotional state of mind to be strictly tied to someone else. That's hard to do. I mean, that's not, it's easy to do, and being aware of it is the hard part. And I'm doing that. I've been doing that recently. Just because of change, and like, there's a lot of change that's happened in my life recently. You haven't noticed. This whole going out and seeing the world thing is a good thing, but with it, it takes me away from this computer. It also takes me away from things I am comfortable with the computer in my own apartment, of course. But a friend of mine who I talked to, that's Greg, I talked to him at night, late at night, playing games. But I haven't been able to do that because tomorrow, for example, I have to get up and exercise at 7 a.m. I mean, I have to be there at 7 a.m., not wake up at 7 a.m. Be there, 7 a.m. And I used the word vile earlier today, thinking about that. Because that's not a time I want to be awake, meaning not a time I want to go to sleep either. I will have to be in bed by 10 o'clock so I can attempt to get some sleep, to get up for that. I haven't even set my goddamn alarm yet. And the alarm's set. What time do you think it would be? No? It's 5:45 in the morning. I have to have my alarm go up at 5:45 in the morning to get somewhere by 7 o'clock. And it's not far. That's like the best worst part. It is just like 10 minutes away. Not even 10. But I'm giving myself that extra time frame. And this has been the change. The change is I've been exercising at a certain place for the past 3 to 4 years, trying to exercise and keep myself in good shape since 2018 officially is when I tried to do it. Didn't work. 2019, I just kind of went out of my mind. 2020, the whole world went crazy. And so I say about 3 to 4 years that I've been actively participating in wellness and fitness and trying to do it as often as I can. Twice a week. Wish it was 3 times a week, but I don't know if I can handle that. I've been doing that since the end of the other place happened, but it's not easy to keep up with that. But now, my choice has been limited. But hold on, let's start from the beginning. The fact that I have the option to do this is incredible. It is a very, very, I am so grateful for this opportunity. Sugar Kitty, meow. Bring your time in. It is greatly appreciated. Sorry, I'll play with that a little bit today. Welcome. I hope your Wednesday is going well, because it's Wellness Wednesday. Talking about my recent mulling over, musing, if you will, about emotional, I say dependence? Probably. Emotional dependence, I think is the word I was looking for. Which is, of course, as I said, since you just got here, having your emotional state being tied to someone else. So if that someone else isn't involved, your emotional state gets all frazzled. Mine does. Bourbon Ball Lily, hello, cheers. Wait. It is greatly appreciated. It really is. You don't even know, it just is. But I've been thinking about change and my emotional, it's emotional dependence on others, which is so frustrating because my emotions are so difficult to manage to begin with. But the reality of not letting someone else be where your emotional stability comes from, that needs to come from you. You need to work on that yourself. You need to have that in check, and at least a healthy emotional state of mind, rather than having how you're emotionally feeling tied to someone else. Because if that someone else isn't being part of your life, or you're not keeping up with them, they're not keeping up with you. We all have that. All of you can think of someone who you guys say you're emotionally dependent on, and there's someone which can be good, but in my case, it can be bad. It can be disruptive, and I can get more anxiety because of it. And I've been thinking, of course, my friend Greg, my friend Amy, who are very important to my emotional well-being, but I haven't been able to keep in touch with them as much lately because of change. Their lives are different. My lives are different. My life is different. And mentioning the traveling I've been doing and the just, I don't even want to say the time we're living in. The time I have change happening, which of course is the exercise, where I have to be somewhere at 7 a.m. I don't want to be somewhere at 7 a.m., but I'm very grateful that I have fallen into the opportunity of being able to exercise twice a week still. It's hard. Like, it was hard before when I had to be there at 8 o'clock in the morning. It's much harder now, but it's an option, and it's a good one. It's a positive thing to stay healthy, physically active, very important emotionally. Stability is very much tied to physical fitness in my head, which of course I didn't for the longest time, but over the past 4 or 5 years, it is definitely. Your body moves and does stuff, you get a little bit of sweat, you get a lot of tension and fog pushed out of your head. At least that's what happens to me. The fog gets a little less. I'm able to function just a little better. But the long-term thought process of this is how many of us have emotional dependency on other people. And I realized I had quite a bit with the fitness center I used to go to. Element Fitness was shut down recently. I had a lot of emotional investment there, is what I did. Twice a week, every week. All the people who were there all the time. Wasn't really like emotionally attached to all of them, but the regularity of seeing certain people and being accustomed to their presence and their demeanor, yeah, that's gone. Like, gone. It won't happen again. I might be seeing them, some of them again, for like a little closing off party thing, but I don't even know if that's going to happen. Thus, the emotional regulation needs to be in check. And when I was thinking about myself, I was finding I was being too emotionally reliant on how other people were doing and how they would keep in touch with me. It's still happening. Like, there are still other things that are bothering me that are tied to other people that I can do nothing about, other than like be aware of it. Focus on that. How about everyone else? I don't want to be the one talking forever. Sugar Katie Bourbon Ball. You guys have anything going on right now? Also, how's my voice sound? Hi. I have tested something out. I don't know if it's working, but there is a filter on my microphone right now that I believe is working. Rob Smith, KillCoers. That's new. Everyone's a KillCoer now. Thank you for bringing your time and attention here. As always, it is greatly appreciated. My mental health improves because all of you are here. Believe it or not. I hope your mental health improves from coming here and hanging out, just giving yourself a space to be without any craziness. If you're drinking anything, tell me. Thirsty. And once again, for those of you who I wish could be in the area, and the few of you who may be on the replay or whatever, there is a whiskey event going on tomorrow at the zoo in my area, in my state, honestly. Cyrene Tan's going to be there, and a bunch of other whiskey somms are going to be there. It's going to be enjoyable. It's also going to be a lot for me. I should rattle off the details. We talked about this on Sunday a little bit. Most of you are aware of it already. But it is to help raise money for the penguins. The penguins. Oops, I used the wrong one. Remember when you're looking up whiskey mentors? There's no E. Green Tan's official thing. Whiskey Mentors, Kings County. Huh. Whiskey Mentor manga? What's happening here? Curried cabbage and drinking some El Salvador coffee with hazelnut. You're eating curried cabbage and drinking coffee. Okay, sure. That's an interesting pairing, is what I'm thinking. It might be really good. I have no idea. I've never had curried cabbage, for one thing. I'm not a huge cabbage person. The word cabbage makes me think of those tiny little dolls from when I was a child. Cabbage Patch Kids. So that word's forever defined into that. I grew up in the 80s, and lots of people don't know what those are. Lots of people don't know what that is anymore. Ooh. Oh, and if you do go to Whiskey Mentor's website, which is just whiskeymentors.com, I believe. I'm looking at it. I'm not sure, though. You can buy stuff on there, or you can at least know the price of it. You can't buy it. It says read more. So she's got a bunch of barrel picks on here. The Elijah Craig one is recent. Just one from 02. I take it back. Maybe I'm not sure if any of these are actually legit still. Because I do not remember her having a lot of Elijah Craig from her QSO4. Oh, QSO4. Never mind. Yeah, that's recent. $90. I don't need any more Elijah Craig. There are 10 of them over here. Stop me, please. I'm not going to spend $90. I wouldn't mind having it, but I am not going to spend $90 on a bottle. I've done too many bottles. Can't drink right now anyway. Like the space drinking Four Hands Warhammer Imperial IP. Excuse me? What? Where'd you get that? Single malt to pair with it. Do it. I'd say get some Andalusia if you can, but remember you're not in Texas area. I have a Total Wine that carries it? I don't know. Carries a very home cooked thing. Wouldn't see it much in a restaurant. Exactly. Exactly. And I still think of Cabbage Patch Kids every time. So you're eating a Cabbage Patch Kid. That's what I'm thinking in my head. St. Louis Brewery. Oh, of course it is. That would make sense. It sounds awesome. I mean, there is a game that I'm going to play on this channel someday that is tied to Warhammer. It came out not long ago, so it's still expensive. And even when it's 50% off, it'll still be like $40. So that's a problem. Let me see if I can actually find it. I feel bad that I've started using my phone more on stream, but also it's just easier for me to look up things that I can't remember that way. IPA is if piney, I would go with rye. There you go. Local brews? Nice. Do I have a local brew? I like Ragged Island stuff, but also I haven't been drinking anything in a while. I don't have a beer with me at all. I'm just doing it up smoothie style tonight. This is about mental health, and mental health is tied with physical health, and physical health is important. That's why I'm talking about having that option to exercise tomorrow morning at 7. At a place I don't really like, but I've been gone there often enough that I'm fine with it. It's a place, it's a sporting center. It's a big place. Echoes off the walls are a thing. The music is always kind of music playing overhead is just eek. Ah, I did have coffee earlier today. I had coffee about 3 o'clock. So I have about 3 cups of coffee in me, approximately. I had a latte this morning that had 2 shots, and then I had a coffee this afternoon at 3. Technically, I shouldn't have had any coffee this afternoon. It might slip into my sleeping pattern. I hope it's going to fizzle out before then, but I don't really get great sleep if I have caffeine in my system. I can sleep. I don't have good sleep. It's like I'm stuck in the light sleep phase for far too long. Maybe unconscious, but I'm not really sleeping. That makes sense. I think I have very early exercising. Goes from 7 to 8. I'll be awake and functioning and moving around at 8 a.m. Having already exercised an hour. I'll get home, shave and shower, and then patiently and anxiously wait going up to Providence. I have to be there by 4 or something. The event starts at 5:30. I have to be there at least. Warhammer. Is Space Marine 2? That looks like it might be it. There's a Warhammer Space Marine. No, it's Space Marine 2, right? Yeah. See on this. Sure. I know it's like first person mode for. Oh yeah, that's it. Space Marine 2. That's gonna be amazing. You're basically a Space Marine. You're fighting Tyranids. I love Tyranids. Back in the day, Warhammer 40k, I played the Tyranids. Old desktop miniature things and all that. Mm. Ew. Take it easy. Thank you for bringing your time and attention here as always, and it's greatly appreciated. How are you? We're checking in with each other, trying to get through another week. We're halfway there. And I was also reminiscing about the fact that it's been a week since I went to Maine officially. And the next trip, yes, the next trip is coming up fast. I was very much tempted to do it next week. I won't lie. Very tempted to go on a trip next week. I'm not going to. Too soon. If anything, I'm going to have these happen once a month. And a lot of that is tied to if I have enough funds to do. So that means the channel has to do better. More people need to get a Patreon and all that nonsense. Those are home insurance people. Yeah, that'll do it. That'll do. We were talking about, or we are talking about, emotional dependence and how we should be aware of how other people affect us emotionally and how our emotions can be tied to that person, both positive and negative. In my part right now, it's positive, but also negative. Like, it's good that I have these people who I have so much emotional support on, and like, they mean a lot to me. If anything happened to these people, I would be devastated. I would not be well for a very long time. And how that's something you have to keep like monitoring. The easiest way for me to announce this to everyone anyone who's in a relationship with someone, emotional dependence, especially if you're living together. Mucho pesos and getting my roof. Balls. I wanna see the day when fixing things is easy. Like, we have robots to do it, and it's just done, and it costs like nothing. In fact, it should be free. Why not? I love the idea of having a place where everyone can get what they need without being ripped off. Biggest rip-off in the world. Yes. Because they don't really want you to. They're like, give us money, and in case something happens, we'll fix it. It feeds on anxiety. You notice that? It feeds on the what if problem. That's anxiety. That's what if. What if I get in a car accident? What if I accidentally hit someone? What if, the roof on my house breaks? In this case, obviously, the insurance needs to be dealt with. But, and you had it, so it's going to cost a lot of money. I'm assuming. And medical insurance. Like, that's if something happens, but in my case, it's happening. My mental health has been garbage for years. I need to take lots of medicine every day. Every day. It's expensive medication too, especially the newest one. Insurance is covering it, but we'll see how long that lasts. There will be some important things in this channel that might come up that will be divisive and upsetting. I hope they're not happening. Yeah, fear is the biggest driver for insurance, of course. As is most things. And for insurance especially, but there are fear of not having enough money, fear of not having a place to live, fear of not having enough food. I like to think most people don't worry too much about those ones, but for me, it's in there constantly. And a big one, I don't like sharing this out loud. The big one is the success of the channel. Been a lot of fear for many years with it fizzling out, which it hasn't yet. It's been 5 years going on 6. But not easy to make. Lucky I have the options to just do so much stuff. Part of part of my good thing is like my emotional dependence isn't that there's not a lot of people who are involved with it. There are people who are very important, but I also can just do whatever I want. There's very, like, some people can't do that. As long as I'm healthy enough, which I can do whatever I want. That is what I keep using as a, what's the word? What is the word? Hold on. That gives some kind of confidence. I don't feel confident in myself. That is not a thing. But knowing I have the freedom to do whatever I want, that's a confidence that people don't really have or can't really have because of just how their lives are. I could get up right now and drive wherever I want and never come back. Insurance is a rip off. It doesn't pay. If it does, it's well worth it. Yeah, that's the problem. Insurance is god awful. But if something does happen, you'll be glad you have it. The catch is that you're paying so much for so long over the possibility of something happening. Me, I pay. Here's my pet peeve, and this will continue for the rest of my life. When my previous car, got in an incident with flooding. Like the roads flooded, I got stuck in water twice, my car just conked out completely. But I didn't pay for the flood insurance. Because why the I like to think that insurance would cover when something happened to my car, but no. There are little check boxes that cost more money. And I got so pissed off. I didn't like go off on anyone, but I was so angry about insurance. Like, what was the point of me paying for insurance for that long? Years and years and years. Dedicated customer. And then just them going, no, you didn't have flood insurance. Doesn't matter anymore. I didn't have that car anymore. But yeah, insurance can blow me. And I won't be nice about it. Anyway, fresh limes from my nightly gin and tonic, so life could be worse. It could. No matter where you go, there you are. That is the problem. I may be able to go do whatever I want, but I'm always there. I always have to deal with this. I always have to have my pills. There are certain things that tie me down. My making sure I have medication all the time is one of them. And again, I don't know where this channel will go with some things, depending. I like to keep things very chill, keep things like now, in the moment. But if certain things happen, which again, insurance, we're talking along these lines. I have medical insurance. I have Medicaid, Medicare. I have SNAP. Those are three very important like pillars to my life right there. Having the health insurance and having the assistance program for food. I cannot buy food. I do not have that much money. I do not have money to buy food. I'm on SNAP, which gives me enough money by myself for each month. And if anything happens to those, nothing will happen to them, right? That's just silly. But if anything does, certain things on this channel will be expressed. And I hate that. Right now, I still have insurance, as far as I know. And I'm still getting money for medication, or for food, for now. We'll see. More reasons for me to run out into the wilderness. 1/10 the cost of my health care. It varies, man. It sucks. Insurance is one of the mental health things that adults have. You gotta pay all this money for the maybe. The what if. That's it. Pay that forever. On your house? See, here's the one good thing. Yeah, insurance blows. I'm stuck in the whole like Star Trek world. You know, where if there is a problem, it can be fixed, and it can be fixed well. Nothing. It could just be fixed. An option. It ties in with. I almost think of. Well, I just did think of tribal cultures. So if like it's in a tribal culture, again, whiskey tribe, in a tribal culture, Not a cult. In a tribal culture, if something happens to one person, the tribe is involved with helping them. So let's say one of the tribe's people has their house and the roof gets blown off. The tribe's people around them will help them put on a new roof. Will it cost something? No. They will have all they need. They will be able to fix it. And if that happens to someone else, same problem. Someone needs food, they give them food. It's all very tight-knit. But now, in a modern age, we don't have that. Something happens to that guy over there. Oh, it's too bad. Sucks for him. God, it's not me. That's the mentality we have. Or it seems like we have. Nowhere near the bills we yeah. Remember that thing about not wanting to pay? Remember the Boston Tea Party? Remember that? Those were funny days. Always under deductibles. If something has happened to your house, the cost would be insurmountable. The cost of insurance is pretty small. Yeah, it's weird. Like my parents' house caught fire at one point when I was living there. The whole place, there was an incident with oil. Like they were making, I think, donuts. And the oil got spilled. It caught fire. It caught fire on the house. The house is not in the best shape. A little bit of hot oil and fire hits something and everything combusts. At least a quarter of the house got seriously damaged. At least. Like we could not live there anymore for a while. And I can still remember the smell. Like if I smell if I ever get the smell in whiskey, I will know immediately. I know what burnt house ashes and just the burnt wood, the char, the feeling I get when I think about it is just destruction, and like you can't believe it. But it was a very specific smell, which I do not get in heated Scotch or anything. But it is a charred, burnt, nasty, like pain, like it hits the back of your nose in a bad way. I've never had anything. Exactly. There's always been a juxtaposition of low, middle, and high class situations for people. And there's always going to be some kind of problem there until we figure out other things. We get to that utopia ideal of there is enough for everyone. And I think we're in an age where there is, but we don't bother. We kind of get that way with social security and insurance like that, which again, if certain things happen, this channel will become very different very quickly. Exactly. But I will never forget that smell. The worst part is when I think about it, I can smell it. Gross. I would smolder. Yeah. Campfire smell is a good smell, but it does stick. Like a thing you're not thinking of when you're like, this is a lovely fire in the night. Let's roast some marshmallows. The next day your clothes reek of smoke. What was my point? I think mental health wise is the whole, we do have enough, but we haven't figured out how to do that yet. Grocery stores themselves are one of those things where you don't think about what happens to the groceries that you don't buy. You go to the grocery store, you buy what you want, and you leave. You never think about the rest of the food or anything else there once you're done. You don't know where any of it goes. I tell you, it doesn't feed other people. Unless there's a specific program in place, which, have you checked? Do you know? I don't. I don't know what happens to the food at Stop and Shop. I have heard there is a program, though. Mama KillCo told me about a program they have there where you can get certain things for like cheap because it's about to expire. I haven't looked into that. It requires you to actually go inside, which is a problem for me. My whole thing is I order my groceries online. I go there. They bring them out to me. I leave. It's great. I don't have to go in there. One, it's a convenience. Two, it's a mental health thing. Grocery stores stress me out, so I don't go in them. I can go to small groceries. The big things, those are unnatural. You go in there long enough, like, this is wrong. I shouldn't be in here. No one should be in a grocery store for very long. They are atrocious places. The lighting itself is brutal. Ugh. Anyway, my point with all of this is mental health wise, and generally, we're talking big things here, but I feel like we're in a time frame where we have enough to do what we can do for everyone, but we're not there yet as far as believing we can do that or actively doing it. We're little ways, but I like to think I'm living the experience of the ways that we can do that. Like, I have serious mental health issues that are debilitating, and they really are. And I'm lucky that I have the ability with Social Security disability insurance to get money enough to pay rent every month, and that's it. It just pays rent. And somehow fumble through the rest of it. Being able to do this is how I make money. And getting anything through is incredible. You have no idea. Helps pay the bills, which if I didn't have this, I wouldn't be able to pay. Ugh. Hold on. Thought shit, kitty. So again, I'm very lucky in what I have right now. And I'd like to stay that way. Really would. Well, let's just say my mental health's tied up in some things that are out of my control. So that's why here we just talk about what's sort of in our heads to a point. Worry about what we can do right now. Like, again, I can just leave, and that's what I'm fortunate enough to have, like the freedom, but still I would have emotional dependency on family, friends, all of you, honestly. Like, I want to do stuff to make you laugh and make you be entertained. Part of why you guys have encouraged me to go out into the world and see and do things, and all I can do is like record it and be like, here, look, I did it. Enjoy. Watch me strung out. Here we go. Our neighbor made maple syrup from trees on our street. Cooked it down with a wood fire. I came in after tending the fire for a few hours. Mom threw a fit. A nice new jacket I bought you. Yeah. I'd be kind of pissed. That's happened to me before. And I think it's with the jacket I usually wear in the autumn and the winter. Oh, that's right. It wasn't fire pit. I wish it was a fire pit. But when I go to Crowded Barrel, there is a correlation between whiskey and cigars that I don't really understand. I don't know how that happened exactly, but it did. Cigar blend whiskey is a thing, and cigars and whiskey are a thing. I don't like that. I don't mind the smell of cigars, but also if I'm surrounded by people smoking cigars, I kind of hate it. And it will soak into your clothes if you're around it for too long. Let's just say I try to stay downwind of people who are smoking cigars. I do not smoke cigars. I'm actively, most of you know already, but I like to announce it again and again. When I have to, when it comes up, I am completely against nicotine. Killed people in my family just because they were addicted to cigarettes. I never knew my mother's father because of that. That's enough. On top of just the general, what it says on the package, like this is a carcinogen, it will kill you. It causes cancer, which is in a lot of things, and it is addictive. So there's those things. The obvious, like, rationale, this is why you shouldn't use this thing. Same can go with alcohol. Don't forget that. But what I like to tamp down that with is cigarettes are a whole thing in themselves. The addictive nature of them especially is alcohol too. Addictive. Can be. Can kill you. But use cautiously. Be aware of what you're doing. Be a steward. Be a pillar is what I'm trying to do. Of making sure people understand what alcohol is. And the safest way to use it for each person. The problem, what keeps happening, and what bothers me, is when I talk about whiskey, I talk about how I don't drink, people oftentimes will immediately say, oh, I drink that, I don't drink that often. Like, oh, like 1 or 2 a week. It's like, yes, good. But how that makes me feel is like if it makes me feel like somehow I've not offended. What's the word? People, it sounds like people are defensive because of that. And I don't want that. But that's how it seems to happen. Is I will talk about how I don't drink, and people who do drink will suddenly be like, oh, but I, it's good that people are aware, though. I don't want to say it's a bad thing, but I always feel like in my head, people seem like they're defensive when I say I don't drink. That shouldn't be the case. When I remind people, and all of you, I can drink whenever I want. Anytime. I just don't. I actively don't. And I encourage people to try that. Like, it's something I did not do for many years, and that's part of why I had to stop drinking, because it was affecting my liver so badly. I'm lucky that I can stop. Stop. Imagine there are some people out there who find it very difficult to have this behind them. Not think about it too much. The backdrop. I think about it when I'm looking at it. I think about it when I'm trying to organize it. Because I had to change it recently with a bottle of Kvalin that I just bought. For those of you who don't know, when I stopped at the New Hampshire liquor store, I got Kvalin. It's not an age statement. It bothers me. But I didn't have a Taiwanese whiskey on my shelf, and now I do. I believe it's 43%. What was my point? Point is, alcohol is also a carcinogen. Cigarettes are a carcinogen, but they're also very addictive. Alcohol can be the same, which is why I make sure I know that. And my life experiences have showed me how it can be misused. I misused it for a long time. Part of why I have to stop. Part of why I've chosen to stop medically also. Medical reasons are the first thing. Like, your liver is scarring up. You should stop. And like, you're right, I should. I didn't know that. Oh, nice. Nice. I'm very lucky that I know a whiskey somm who's in Taiwan. He's like lives over there. He's one of the whiskey somms who's in Taiwan. So like, he deals with having parties and stuff for people and doing like whiskey tastings over there. It's wild. He was actually at my level 2 whiskey somm thing. Yeah, he was very generous. Very kind. He said something very kind to me at the end, which I didn't expect. That was my point. Oh yeah, and then bacon. For one thing, a lot of the good things in life seem to be bad for you. Just know where you're at. Like, don't eat bacon every single morning. Don't do that. Probably not great. It's not healthy. I'm never going to tell a person what to do, but I want people to be informed and keenly aware, especially with alcohol. As someone who misused it for a long time and also didn't care that I misused it for a long time. It's important to, as a whiskey sommelier, I think it's very important that I make people aware of, like, this is a dangerous substance. Please use at your discretion. Be careful. I don't want, like, people getting drunk on whiskey. That's where I get a little bothered. I've done it many times. But it's the cultural thing of getting drunk or getting tipsy. That equals having fun. When really that means your body chemistry is telling you to slow down. You start to stumble a little bit and slur your speech a little bit. That's your body telling you to knock it off. You are losing control, good sir or madam. I'm lucky enough that I know when it's happening. Like, when alcohol gets into my system, it goes here. And it starts to get fuzzy. Once that happens, maple bacon glazed donut. Oh yeah, yeah. All things in moderation. It's usually how it's put. All things in moderation. I admit, I had a donut-like thing today. I had a what's it called? A brioche? No, a brioche is a type of bread. It was a donut in essence, but it had a specific name, and it had vanilla pudding or vanilla cream of some sort in the middle of it. It was delightful. It was very light. Like, I thought it was going to be really heavy with the stuff that was inside it. Nope. I think it began with B. C. I'm taking a picture of it before I bought it. Don't tell my nutritionist. That's another thing people should have, a nutritionist. Get one. If you don't have one and your insurance covers it, see one. It really is. And if anything else, I can just use what I have here and use the platform I have to keep people up to date. I'm a whiskey sommelier, whatever that means to other people. I mean, I hope the one thing I want is to bring people into whiskey. It's not a cannoli, no. It was round. It was round and it had like powdered sugar like on top of it. I don't remember what it was called. It's gonna bother me. And I want to say the word brioche, but that's not it. I think it sounded similar. Anyway, I try to bring attention to something a lot of people don't really want to pay attention to. That is just with alcohol specifically. Brioche is a roll, yes. Not what it is. Not a roll. It looked a lot like a donut. They did not call it a donut. I cannot remember the name of it. But it was at Anna D's Cafe, and they have lovely, lovely, lovely things to eat all the time. What's my point? My point is, he's going to take the cannoli. Yeah. Exactly. I want to bring people into whiskey and have them realize it is a very unique experience. It is based on every individual person who consumes it. It's based on you. It has certain qualities that are the same. A lot of people experience the same thing, but it's dependent on you yourself and what you've tasted and what you smelled and what you've experienced. And that's the enjoyable part about it. That is the thing that brings people together, is getting to enjoy it together, getting to share experiences in that way. And that actively, it can be used for that and for enjoyment and for occasions and all that. But the hard part is bringing the reality to it, that it is very dangerous. It is a carcinogen. It can cause cancer. It can do a number on your body. Living proof that it can do that. And while we don't like saying this, because no like person who's going to drink wants to hear, it needs to be taken very seriously. It needs to be, it's like if you're using how do I put this? I'm thinking of the example of either propane or playing with fire, or fire itself. Like fire itself is fine if you know what you're doing and you know how to handle it and there's no big issue. And we were talking about fire earlier. But if it's handled poorly or is not taken seriously, it can do damage. And that's the same with alcohol. Know what it is, be aware of what it is, know how to use it, and know your limits when you use it. But always be careful. Always try to be aware of what it can do. You're not maintaining some kind of self-awareness about it. It can do horrible things. Unfortunately, it sucks to have like all this behind me and be like, it's dangerous. The fire here would be really bad, actually. But anyway, thank you for joining me on another Wednesday. As we bring about our mental health and try to make sure everyone's checked in and we're all okay. Get through into Friday. I'll have a lot to talk about. The event will be over by then. But it's the only thing I'm worrying about right now. Going to this zoo tomorrow and pouring whiskey for people. Excellent. Being around lots of people, I don't know. Yay. It'll be great. At least it'll be at the zoo. There you have it, folks. As always, live long and prosper. Don't forget to be awesome. I will see you out there. Special thanks to my YouTube members and patrons for supporting the channel. Thank you for watching. Remember to like and subscribe. I'll see you next time.